Hey everyone, and welcome. We spend so much of our lives online, right? But are we really doing it safely? Well, think of this as your essential guide, your roadmap to navigating the digital world with a whole lot more confidence. Let's jump in. So, picture this. Over on one side, you've got your computer, your phone, your personal world. And on the other, there's the huge, wide open internet. And that fiery wall in the middle, that's what we're talking about today. The barriers, the protections, all the tools you need to travel the digital superhighway without getting burned. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to scout out the dangers that are lurking online. Then we'll get into building up your digital defenses, your armor, so to speak. After that, I've got a great pro tip on traveling light and fast online. And finally, we'll pull it all together into an action plan to get you started. Okay, so let's start by looking at the threats out there. Because look, to stay safe on this journey, you first have to understand the landscape and, the traps it holds. Just knowing what's out there is honestly the biggest and most critical step to avoiding it. First up on our list is malware. This is the big catch-all term for pretty much any software that's been designed to cause you trouble. Think of it like a computer cold or even a digital burglar trying to mess up your system or worse, steal your stuff. And yeah, this includes all those classic culprits you've heard of, like viruses and Trojans. Now, this next one is really sneaky because it totally weaponizes trust. Phishing is just pure digital deception. A scammer will send you an email that looks completely legit. Maybe it looks like it's from your bank. And the whole goal is to trick you into handing over your password or your credit card info. A quick tip here. Always hover your mouse over a link before you click. That little pop-up will show you the actual web address, and that often reveals the scammer right away. You know that feeling when you try to get on a super popular website the second concert tickets go on sale and it just crashes? Well, a DDoS attack is kind of like a malicious, weaponized version of that. Attackers just flood the website with so much fake traffic that it creates this massive digital traffic jam, making it totally impossible for real users like you and me to get through. This one is just as creepy as it sounds, seriously. Imagine you're having a private conversation, but someone is secretly listening in on the line. That's a man-in-the-middle attack. A hacker basically wedges themselves between you and, say, your banking website, and they can intercept every bit of information you send. And if you thought that was bad, this next threat shows just how nasty these attacks can really get. Ransomware is basically digital kidnapping. It's a piece of malware that gets on your computer and locks up all your important files, your photos, your documents, everything, and then demands you pay a ransom to get them back. Your data is literally being held hostage. Okay, our last threat here is a little more on the technical side, but the idea behind it is pretty simple. See, websites use databases to store all our information. An SQL injection is when a hacker finds a weak spot and injects their own malicious computer code to trick that database into spitting out private data it's supposed to be protecting. Okay, enough with the scary stuff. I know, that was a lot, but the good news is we are not defenseless here, not at all. Now that we know what the threats are, it's time to build our defenses. So let's talk about the armor you can use to keep yourself safe on your digital journey. Remember that fiery wall from our first slide? This is it. A firewall is like a digital gatekeeper for your computer or your whole network. It sits there and inspects all the data traffic coming in and going out, and based on a set of security rules, it decides what to block and what to let through. It really is your first line of defense. So what happens if something does get past your firewall? Well, that's where encryption comes in. The best way to think about it is like turning your sensitive information into a secret code. Even if a hacker manages to grab it, it's just gibberish. They can't read it without the special key. This is the magic that keeps your online banking and shopping secure. Think of these two as your system's own personal security detail. Antivirus software is constantly on patrol, searching for and removing known bad guys like viruses and malware. Anti-spyware, on the other hand, is specifically on the lookout for those really sneaky programs that might be secretly tracking what you type or watching what you do online. So here's the most crucial point. You can absolutely do this. These 4 practices are simple things anyone can start doing right this second. Use strong, unique passwords for every single account. Keep your software updated. Those updates often patch up security holes. Be skeptical of weird-looking emails. And of course, make sure you have good antivirus software running. Just doing these things alone makes you a much, much harder target. All right, now for a little pro tip that helps with both your safety and your efficiency. A smart digital traveler knows how to manage their data well, because believe it or not, good data management is a huge part of good security. Let's talk about a simple trick called data compression. So, why on earth should you care about making files smaller? It seems like such a minor thing, right? But it actually has some major benefits for your speed, your storage, and most critically, for backing up your data. So, compressing your data, or zipping it up, obviously saves space and makes files transfer way faster. But here's the security angle. It makes backing up all your important data so much more efficient. And having regular, recent backups is your absolute best defense against something like a ransomware attack. If your backups are faster and easier, you're just more likely to do them. And that's what keeps your digital life safe. Okay, we've gone over the threats, we've covered the defenses, and we've even gotten an efficiency tip that secretly doubles as a security tactic. Now it's time to bring it all home and put this knowledge into action. This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? At the end of the day, this isn't just about protecting computers. It's about protecting the stuff that really matters: our privacy, our money, our personal information, from people who want to take advantage of it. That is the why behind every single thing we've talked about. So I'll leave you with this one question. What's the one thing you're going to check on or update first? Is it going to be your passwords? Maybe that software update you've been putting off? Or are you finally going to install some good antivirus software? Just pick one thing and make that your first move. That's how you become a safer, smarter digital traveler. Thanks for joining me.